Well, first of all, just welcome everybody, and I just want to reassure the community and the public that we here in the city of Worcester continue to monitor and respond to the ever-changing events regarding the coronavirus. While at the same time, we also continue to plan to strategize and keep essential functions of our government and healthcare systems functioning. It's especially important to work together to reduce the spread of this virus by continuing practicing good hygiene habits, social distancing, and keeping informed. Keeping informed is, you should be looking at the CDC websites, the City of Worcester websites, and the public health government websites. There's a lot of stuff in social media, I believe, is just not true. And to keep this factual, I think it's important to keep yourself informed, looking at our government sites. And I also want to emphasize too that the team here will continue to work 7 days a week to keep our community safe and informed. And also, I know the superintendent couldn't make it for this, but she also wants me to announce that she's working on a program to feed the students who are in need. That should be coming out sometime next week. So, Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank you and the council for their ongoing support during these challenging times. I'd like to also emphasize what the mayor mentioned, that the city is all hands on deck in terms of coordinating with our community partners, making sure that we are supporting each other as we keep important critical functions operating as events unfold, that we're planning for worst case scenarios, hoping they don't come to fruition, but planning in case they do. And we are challenging ourselves to continue to find ways to keep our citizens and residents informed. And that's why we want to do these regular briefings so that folks know the latest that's going on, as the mayor said, from official sources as opposed to from some unofficial sources that can sometimes create concern or confusion about what the right information is. So today, I'd remind folks, as we said, the EOC is up and running and will run 7 days a week until this situation is over. We have all the major city departments part of this, as well as many of our community partners. Today we received confirmation of our first positive case of coronavirus in the city of Worcester. The case is related to the Biogen conference. The person is being monitored by the Mass Department of Public Health and the Worcester Department of Public Health and remains in isolation. We are awaiting the test results on 5 other persons of interest. DPH is monitoring those individuals, and we are hoping for the results sometime over the next couple of days, and we will share that when that becomes available. There are no other confirmed cases in the city of Worcester as of right now. So it's important to mention that there are cases that come through the Worcester Department of Public Health that get qualified for testing. The tests are taken, and then we await the results back from Mass DPH. There are also tests that are conducted at the hospitals, St. Vincent and UMass, as well as private labs. Those results are shared once they're confirmed with the state, with the city of Worcester. So right now, there's only 1 confirmed case in the city of Worcester from any of those sources. I also want to announce that we're going to close the Worcester Public Library at the close of business tomorrow, 4:30. That includes all the branches and the mobile libraries. So the library will be open today and tomorrow. If folks, particularly families, want to go get books or other items from the library, they can do that today or tomorrow. But then as of tomorrow, the library will be closed until further notice. We, as the mayor alluded to, we spent a fair amount of time this morning working with the superintendent and her team, putting into place a system to make sure that the students and other young people in our community have access to food during this period of school closures. We will be announcing that program and plan early next week. But rest assured that this is a top priority for the school department, the city of Worcester, certainly the council and the school committee. Everybody is very focused on making sure our young people have access to the food that they need, and Worcester will have a plan in place at the beginning of next week. I do want to just assure people, a number of the counselors are involved in this and other community leaders. Worcester True to Form is got lots of wonderful organizations and individuals who are stepping up and want to add whatever kind of assistance they can, particularly to the most vulnerable in our community. So we are all being inundated with organizations and individuals who want to help. And so we are trying to coordinate those efforts with community partners so that as we identify the most vulnerable in our community, we can connect that great instinct of help and service to the places of need. So we will be working and coordinating with our community partners to make sure that people have an opportunity to help their neighbors and fellow members of the community and meet the needs wherever they may be. The mayor mentioned, I think this is just one of the most important things every individual has a responsibility to do. Not only the hygiene regimens that we talk so much about, the social distancing, but keeping informed. These events are changing rapidly. The guidance that we're receiving from the CDC, from the Mass Department of Public Health, is changing rapidly. So we urge folks to continue to monitor our website, which brings you all of the latest information from both the CDC and Mass DPH, worcesterma.gov/coronavirus, or you go right to the City of Worcester's website, and the front and center are all of the latest informations and links in multiple languages, making sure that we're getting the information out to folks that's accurate, science-based, factual information. We also have established the hotline, 508-799-1019, 508-799-1019. That's an important resource for folks who have questions, as they or their family or their friends, you want to get an accurate source of information, use that hotline to get that information. I also want to announce that we're canceling the City Hoops program, which is our April vacation, school vacation program, and the Recreation Worcester After School program is canceled until further notice. Again, I appreciate the support that we've received from the council, the school committee, the mayor, and all of our community partners. While it's a very challenging time here in the City of Worcester, it's also gratifying to live in a community that has so many people who are so focused on working together and helping people in need. And together we're going to manage our way through this, and we're going to keep people safe, we're going to get people information, and we're going to stick together as a community. So happy to answer any questions folks might have. As of last Thursday's press conference, a Worcester County non-Worcester resident, and the second one is a Worcester resident. So folks who have tested through the hospitals, so even the Worcester DPH cases were coordinated with the hospitals. They were brought to the hospital, tested there. So the hospitals are the prime facilitators of the test. Folks should talk to their physician if they think that they have symptoms or somehow might have been exposed, and get advice from their physician as to whether they qualify to be tested or not. They shouldn't just show up at a hospital at an emergency room if they are in severe distress, respiratory distress, or other kind of more immediate health challenges. They should call 911, and there's a protocol in place to ask questions, and if they think they meet the criteria, first responders will go with the appropriate gear, and the hospitals will receive those folks, again, with the proper protocols to ensure the limiting of exposure until that person can either be qualified for testing and have the test done. Staff of the Worcester Public Library, interacting with the staff of the Worcester Public Schools, we want to create some online and virtual story hours, reading clubs, other things that can kind of support parents as they're home with their kids for at least the next 3 weeks, to keep kids learning, keep kids engaged, help families as they struggle to entertain their young people at home. So we want to do everything we can to support that through both the Worcester Public Schools and the Worcester Public Library. So we'll have more information on that, and we'll also have some more information in terms of we're gonna liberalize the return policy for the Worcester Public Library, so folks come down and take out items, they won't have to necessarily bring them back with